Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Leadership Loophole. I'm O'Shea. Today, we are going to unlock the secrets to building a high-performance team. So here's a fact. A Gallup study has found that highly engaged teams are 21% more productive than disengaged ones. But building a great team isn't just about luck. It's about leadership, trust, and culture. So let's break it down. A great team starts with 3 pillars. 1, shared vision. Every team needs a mission. Simon Sinek says great leaders don't inspire people to work, they inspire people to believe. 2, clear roles and responsibilities. Confusion kills productivity. Teams thrive when each member knows their role. And 3, psychological safety. Google's research on high-performance teams found that the number 1 predictor of success is psychological safety. That means the members that feel safe to express ideas without fear of judgment. Think about the best team you've ever been a part of. What made it great? Chances are it wasn't just talent. It was about alignment, clarity, and trust. So let's break down these 3 pillars and see why they're the foundation of any successful team. Shared vision. A high-performance team isn't just a collection of individuals working in the same direction. It's a group of people who truly believe in a common purpose. As Simon Sinek had said in his book, Starts With Why, emphasizes that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The same thing applies to teams. If every team member understands and is inspired by the mission, they'll be more engaged and more motivated. But having a vision isn't enough. It has to be clearly communicated. Leaders need to reinforce this vision regularly. Connect daily tasks to the bigger picture and ensure alignment. When teams feel connected to a greater purpose, their engagement and performance skyrocket. Clear roles and responsibilities. So let's talk about these clear roles and responsibilities. High-performing teams don't waste time navigating confusion about who does what. Harvard Business Review highlights the lack of role clarity is one of the leading causes of inefficiency in teams. When roles aren't well defined, team members can focus. When roles are well defined, team members can focus on execution rather than on figuring out boundaries. Leaders should make their expectations explicit. Ensure tasks are distributed based on strengths, and create accountability structures. When everyone knows their lane, collaboration becomes seamless and productivity soars. And the third pillar, arguably the most crucial, is psychological safety. Coined by Dr. Amy Edmondson of Harvard Business School, psychological safety is a shared belief that the team is safe for interpersonal risk-taking. This means that people feel comfortable voicing ideas, admitting mistakes, and challenging the status quo without a fear of ridicule or punishment. Google's Project Aristotle, a massive study on what makes teams successful, found that psychological safety was the number 1 factor in high-performing teams. When people trust that they won't be penalized for speaking up, innovation thrives. Mistakes become learning opportunities and collaboration deepens. So how do leaders foster psychological safety? Well, they need to actively listen, encourage open dialogue, and respond to failures with curiosity rather than blame. A safe team is a fearless team. To wrap it up, a shared vision aligns the team. Clear roles create efficiency, and psychological safety fosters trust and innovation. Together, these pillars form the backbones of any high-performance team. So how do we build trust? Well, 3 key actions are radical transparency. Be open about company goals and challenges. As Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, says, transparency builds trust and accelerates learning. Regular feedback loops. Great teams communicate often. A weekly check-in can boost performance. And recognition and appreciation. According to Harvard Business Review, teams that receive regular recognition perform 31% better. So think again about the best team that you've ever been a part of and what made it great. Chances are you knew where you stood, felt valued, and had clarity about the direction and expectations. That's not by accident. It's built through intentional communication strategies. So let's break it down. Radical transparency and why hiding the ball kills trust. First up, radical transparency. This is about being open and honest, even when the truth is tough. Companies like Bridgewater Associates, led by Ray Dalio, have built their entire culture around this principle. Radical transparency forces you to confront reality, which ultimately builds trust and better decision-making. When leaders and teams practice transparency, they remove guesswork. People know what's happening, why decisions are being made, and where they fit in. But here's the key to that. Transparency isn't just about sharing good news. It also means openly discussing failures, challenges, and mistakes. When leaders admit their own missteps, it fosters a culture where the others feel safe to do so. The psychological safety strengthens communication. But transparency without feedback loops is just broadcasting information. So let's talk about why structured continuous feedback is crucial. Imagine playing a sport where you get feedback at the end of the season. That wouldn't work, right? Yet so many teams operate without real-time feedback, leaving employees in the dark about their performance and growth. Feedback loops, both structured and informal, help ensure that communication is ongoing and not reactive. Whether it's weekly one-on-ones, retrospectives, or peer-to-peer check-ins, teams that actively give and receive feedback build resilience and alignment. So here's a quick stat. A Gallup study found that employees who receive regular feedback are nearly 4 times more engaged than those who don't. Why? Because feedback shows that their work matters and that they have a clear path to improve. A great framework for feedback is radical candor, coined by Kim Scott, God bless. It balances caring personally while also challenging directly. Instead of sugarcoating or avoiding hard conversations, teams should foster a culture where feedback is normal, expected, and appreciated. Now let's talk about one of the most overlooked trust builders, recognition and appreciation. Studies show that 69% of employees say they'd work harder if they felt more appreciated. Recognition isn't just nice to have, it's an essential It's essential for motivation, trust, and team cohesion. Recognition doesn't have to be grand. It can be as simple as public shout-outs in meetings, a handwritten note, or even a quick Slack message thanking someone for their effort. The best recognition is specific and timely. Instead of saying, "Great job," say, "I appreciate how you handled that client call. It was clear, thoughtful, and kept us aligned." This kind of detailed appreciation reinforces positive behaviors and strengthens relationships. And here's the magic. When recognition flows freely across all levels of the organization, it amplifies trust and deepens team connections. So bringing it all together, let's recap. Radical transparency builds trust by eliminating uncertainty and making honesty the norm. Regular feedback loops keep communication open and ensure alignment. And recognition and appreciation reinforce trust and make teams stronger. By embedding these principles into your team's culture, you create a workplace where people feel seen, heard, and valued. So try this. Start meetings with wins of the week, a quick share of the team's achievements to boost morale. With that, though, conflict is inevitable, but great leaders manage it constructively, and here's how you could do the same. Focus on solutions, not blame. Jeff Bezos says, disagree and commit. Once a decision is made, move forward together. Encourage healthy debate. Steve Jobs was known for pushing his teams to debate ideas openly. And reignite motivation. Teams lose momentum without a sense of progress. Set clear milestones to maintain motivation. Conflict is inevitable in any workplace, but how you handle it determines whether it fuels progress or burns out your team. Today, we're going to explore 3 strategies: focusing on solutions instead of blame, encouraging healthy debate, and reigniting motivation when things get tough. So let's face it, when things go wrong, it is easy to point fingers. But blame doesn't fix problems. Instead, great leaders shift that conversation from who's at fault to how do we move forward. Harvard Business Review found that teams with a problem-solving mindset recover from setbacks faster and perform better. A simple shift in language can make a huge difference. Instead of saying, "This is your mistake," say, "Here's what happened, how can we fix it together?" And a practical tip. In team meetings, frame challenges with "how might we" questions. For example, how might we improve this process to prevent this issue next time? This approach builds collaboration rather than resentment. And encourage healthy debate. Conflict doesn't always it isn't always bad. In fact, teams that never disagree might be avoiding tough but necessary conversations. The key is fostering constructive conflict rather than the destructive clashes. Patrick Lencioni, author of The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, says if people don't weigh in, they won't buy in. Encouraging respectful debate ensures that everyone's voice is heard, which leads to stronger decisions. A practical tip for that: set ground rules for discussion. One method is the yes and technique from improv comedy. Instead of shooting down ideas, build on them. If someone suggests a risky move, respond with yes. And what if we test it in a low-risk way first? This way it keeps debate productive rather than combative. And after disagreement, morale can take a hit. That's why leaders need to realign the team and keep energy high. The best way to do this: connect everyone back to the why behind their work. Research from Journal Organizational Behavior shows that teams perform better when they see the impact of their work. So if your team is feeling stuck, remind them why their contributions matter. A practical tip for that: share success stories. If you're in customer service, highlight a message from a happy client. If you're in productive development, showcase how your product improved lives. When people see the bigger picture, they're more motivated to push forward. See, in closing, conflict doesn't have to drain a team. It can actually strengthen it when handled well. Focus on solutions, create space for healthy debate, and reignite motivation by reminding your team of their impact. So to recap, high-performance teams thrive on trust, clear roles, and psychological safety. Foster transparency and communication. Manage conflict with a focus on solution. And keep your team motivated with recognition and progress. My challenge for you this week: have a radical transparency moment with your team. Share a challenge and invite feedback. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. But my name's O'Shea again. Appreciate you guys for dropping into the Leadership Loophole. We will catch you on the next one.
Audio Jungle.